the more financial technology is advancing and payment solutions is advancing, it has a direct influence on commerce and on e-commerce. Unfortunately, however, the mobile interaction today is not very comfortable. I mean, it's a small screen. You don't see all the product information so well. Sometimes you don't feel comfortable to make a purchase on your mobile phone because of security issues. But the more technology is advancing and the more comfortable we feel to make these decisions on this little screen, the more commerce will happen on these screens.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley in partnership with Leumitech, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Uppost Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Serona Partners, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Meet Bianca Meger, the co-CEO of Shelfy.io. Bianca brings more than 18 years of experience to the Metro One team. With extensive global experience in marketing, business development, and sales, she holds a proven track record of establishing data-driven, customer-centric companies. Over the past 9 years, Bianca served as Chief Marketing Officer of various leading tech companies in Israel and was nominated for the esteemed Globe's 40 Under 40 Award. Originally from Africa, Bianca strongly believes in the notion of it takes a village and is convinced that sophisticated technology, unique business models, and a proactive regulatory approach can make financial inclusion a reality for all. Bianca Meger, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very, very much for joining me on another episode of 20-Minute Leaders. I'm excited to talk to you about your own journey, both from growing up in Africa and now in Israel with a lot of places in between, but also holding critical positions in marketing and now thinking really interesting ways about commerce, mobile commerce, customer-centric companies, and now running your own company, Metro One, and also with the Shelfy. So a lot to unpack in these 20 minutes. And I think that the best thing to do would just to go all the way to the beginning and go back to your upbringing in Namibia and what's happening there and how you grew up in Africa and some of the values that you've gained there and how they've shaped who you are today.
So I was raised on a farm in Namibia. Very exciting, lots of adventure, lots of nature. We were two girls, no boys in the house. So I think we were raised with the ability that girls can do everything that boys can do. And, whether it's hunting or pulling wires of the fencing. So I grew up in a very equal household where everyone basically had to jump in and help. And physical strength didn't really matter. When the task was there, you had to get it done. I think growing up in Africa, it teaches you a lot of things. One of them, I would say, is resilience and independence. When you're living on a farm, you have no neighbors for about 20 kilometers around you. So you have to learn to be self-reliant. And if something's wrong, no one's going to come and fix it. You have to fix it yourself. So I think that's something that's very unique. For Africans, I see a lot of South African people living in Israel now also, and they have this, can-do attitude, and we get our hands dirty and jump in. So I think that's a cultural thing as well. I think another thing that is very important that we grew up with is being grateful. You see very extremes in Africa, extreme poverty and also extreme richness and wealth. And I think this puts things into perspective. So you know that you shouldn't take anything for granted, and you can be happy with very little. So I think this is one of the core values that I take with me, and I really try to install it in my kids today as well. Even in the office, that don't complain about this type of coffee, be happy for what you have, because not everyone has it.
So I'd love to talk about these two values in the context of your greater career. So talking both about the can-do attitude and to, get stuff done, but also practicing gratitude and being thankful for what we have. So let's start with the first one of the can-do attitude and getting stuff done. Where in your career, whether now or in previous positions, has this trait really come out and been an added value for you in your own career? So
I think can do mean, first of all, it gives me the ability to not be afraid to try new things. And not only wait for someone smarter than me. So whenever I get a task or a challenge, from the start of my career, I would never say no to it. I would always, try my best to do it, to learn from it. Which I think in many cases, a lot of people don't do that. They say, hey, it's not my department. It's not my responsibility, give it to this or this. So for me, whenever someone gave me something to do, I always tried my best to do it. And I always try to help people. So in my calendar, for example, even though I have a lot of meetings, I always tell the team I'm always available. So whenever somebody needs help or assistance or just, a quick question, they should never feel like they have to schedule time with me. They can just come and speak with me for 2-3 minutes. We can resolve it and we can work on it together. So I try to always be available also for the team, and together we can do it better.
So obviously, I mean, that value of, being available and being transparent and, prioritizing team members and those small conversations is great in practice, on theory, but in practice, you're busy and you have things to do, and all those context switches sometimes can actually harm your ability to get stuff done. So how do you balance and how do you keep in check that you're not, over transparent and over available where it comes at the expense of the things that you have to do in your sort of deep work time?
So first of all, like you say, it's a balance. And obviously sometimes you can say to someone, hey guys, now I'm not available, or now is not a good time. But for example, I'm someone that wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I get, my best emails, my best ideas between 5 to 7 in the morning. And then also in the nights, after work time, I come home, I have a family, 3 kids. But once they go to bed, I still make that time very focused to get the important stuff done.
Right. So when it comes to practicing gratitude in a high-paced world, especially in the in the Israel ecosystem, in the tech world, sometimes I think it's hard, and we sort of forget to keep track of where we are and to keep ourselves in touch with what we have and the privilege that we have. So how has your background changed the way that you think about your daily work today and sort of your interaction both with your employees and perhaps your family?
So first of all, I believe that what we do is very important, in the sense of, growing up in Africa, there's a lot of people that don't have, for example, I was in fintech before I joined Shelfy and Metro One, serving populations that have no access to banks, no access to financing. So for me, my work in technology is really, changing the lives of people that really need technology. For example, being able to open a wallet, an e-wallet on your phone, jumping over traditional technologies to move to the mobile phone, where we really accelerate globalization. And when we speak about globalization, I think it's leveling the playing field for a lot of people. The mobile phone, for example, give people in remote areas, remote cities, villages, access to speak to people abroad, access to make an income, access to get an education. So everything I do in the tech environment, I really try to choose sectors where I know that it can make an impact on people that would not have another way to be in touch with the world, like we are here in more developed countries. Right. So this is I would say, like an inspiration in a way and a motivation to see it.
I love it. So walk me through your professional career and, both your entrance into the marketing world but then transitioning more to leadership roles within companies today, running your own company in the mobile commerce space.
So I was very fortunate. My family, we had a lodge in Africa. So we're in the tourism. So as a kid, I always grew up with tourists, and my parents had their own safari company, and my mom was always, doing marketing, and we had people staying in our lodge. So I think I was very much exposed to an international culture of service. So I think from a young age, I understood the importance of service, the importance of marketing, making people aware of a product or a country. So I think that's kind of where it piqued my interest to, it's amazing, 20, 30 years back, to be able to contact someone in Germany and tell them about your country and have them fly all the way over based on a brochure. It was amazing for me that this could happen.
I can imagine.
So I think that's kind of where it piqued my interest. So naturally, I just moved to this field. But the more I grew professionally and the more exposure I had, and I was very fortunate. I worked with amazing CEOs and founders that really, I would say, mentored me and taught me and gave me that extra side of business. And I think this enabled me to make the transition from CMO to CEO. Really understanding the financial side, the business side. Also, I'm very fortunate because my husband is a businessman. So I think with the support at home, where someone can challenge you but still give you advice, it pushes you out of your comfort zone, but it also gives you the, like the confidence to try something new and to grow. So I can say I was very fortunate. Also, when curiosity is very important. So I am very curious by nature. If you tell me anything, I'll ask why and how. And I think this is kind of also, I'm not afraid of taking risks. I believe you live once, live it to the fullest. If you can move to any weird country for 2 years, go for it. So I try to live life to the fullest. So
incredible.
And that goes for work.
So mobile commerce, Metro One. What is happening in the world today? What is the opportunity that you've identified with Metro One in the mobile commerce space?
Great. So today, about 70% of all online purchases comes via the mobile phone.
Right.
And 54 of those sales are actually done through the mobile phone. So today we're all moving to our phone. We don't have time. We're not sitting next to our desktops. We're, commuting, we're traveling, we're between meetings. So the mobile for sure is a new technological stack that will change the way we do everything. And you can see it in all sectors. The more financial technology is advancing and payment solutions is advancing, it has a direct influence on commerce and on e-commerce. Unfortunately, however, the mobile interaction today is not very comfortable. I mean, it's a small screen. You don't see all the product information so well. Sometimes you don't feel comfortable to make a purchase on your mobile phone because of security issues. But the more technology is advancing and the more comfortable we feel to make these decisions on this little screen, the more commerce will happen on these screens. And what Shelfy wants to do and what our vision is to empower retailers to make the shift from brick and mortar stores or websites to actually have their own mobile commerce on the mobile, on a screen that's very user friendly. It improves the customer's shopping ability. We developed our platform based on the real estate of the phone, the screen of the phone. We didn't develop it on the web or on a desktop and then move it to the phone. Right. We decided, okay, this is the amount of space we have. How are we going to build the best user interface and user experience that can make it convenient for the customers to shop, but also give value to the retailer? Because now the retailer has a way of, staying engaged with his customers. They have a way of communicating with their customers. And they can also, show products and personalize the shopping experience. So when I know that my client is always shopping this type of brand, I know what they like. I can recommend some other stuff, and really make it one journey, whether you're on the e-commerce site or on your mobile platform, but give them the ability to really sell properly through the mobile phone and grow their business.
Why is it so hard today? So, why? Obviously, that's the reality, and that's where we're moving. And Generation Z are, I believe, the heaviest purchasers today on e-commerce and mobile commerce. And so, what is happening, in terms of the brick and mortar stores or the retailers that are trying to make this transition? What are the biggest pain points that you've identified that is inhibiting them from just doing it independently on their own?
So first of all, their focus is on their, selling goods, or whether it's fashion or whether it's groceries. Right. That's their level of expertise. Yeah. But you have to move to the digital world. And instead of bringing huge development teams, we speak with a lot of retailers, big grocery shops, and the owner says to me, Bianca, I'm not a developer. I don't want to understand how complicated it is to integrate with my ERP systems. So what we're trying to do is to take that complicated development out of the picture and really give a proper SaaS solution to retailers that they can literally just drag and drop whatever they need our system connects directly to their ERP system or their e-commerce platform. So whether it's Shopify or WooCommerce or Magento, we pull all the data from their systems and they can launch the application in a matter of an hour or two. Right. So we really try to make it very simple. Because yes, it's complicated and it's scary. The second I'm not a technical person at all. So I don't want to struggle for 3 weeks, how to put this code here and how to deal with this API. So we're really trying to build a system that is very user-friendly, hassle-free, no coding required. And this will help business owners to really focus on their core business, which is growing their retail shop, engaging with their customers and giving good customer service.
So is the vision for, one day in the next few years to be in a position where Metro One is an enabler for, many brick and mortar stores to transition to mobile commerce and sort of be their backbone, their front end and back end to leverage on their speciality, which is actually producing and selling the goods, while your speciality is providing the technological and enabler to get that in front of their customers? Is that the grand vision?
Correct. Yes. So that's the grand vision. So we really enable retailers to collect all their customer data on multiple channels, and then enable them to grow, enable them to offer personalized services to that specific customer based on AI and machine learning, enable them, to really track and monitor where the customer is, what they like to buy, and then really create this unique experience for their customers.
Bianca, take me back to, your own upbringing again. And I'd love to know, beyond the values that you've gained and the understanding of gratitude and the can-do attitude, what is what are some things that left you fascinated in your day-to-day or really sparked your curiosity?
So I think the fact that, again, globalization used to be very limited, based on, if an airplane can fly you or whether you can make a phone call. And again, the fact that, you can see this plane landing on the middle of nowhere, and have people come, without fear, and have a new experience, is amazing. And then also meeting different people, I think was very intriguing for me, as a child. So I think this whole tourism side of our family really made a huge impact on me, and it showed how big the world was. Even though now it sometimes feels very small. But yeah, I think, in working, I grew up, for example, in Namibia, which was that time a very, apartheid era. I was born and raised in this period, and seeing someone like, for example, Nelson Mandela, that could go through all of this prosecution and, have immense personal loss, but still be able to forgive the people that caused them the suffering and, be so visionary and make everyone feel special. This had a huge impact on me. So, even today, no matter where I am, whether, I'm in a hotel and it's a cleaner, or whether I'm meeting a very important CEO, I really always try to look at the person for the person and try to understand that person, because that's your client in the end of the day. And in the end, we all have the same needs. We all want the same things. We all have the same aspirations, no matter where we are in the world. So human behavior is very similar. And I think if you can understand that, you can, create products that really, really make a change and really make a difference in people. So these are the things that really intrigue me and that I like to look at. Even I take my kids to a village in Africa with Himbas. They wear traditional clothing. They have no schools, and they just connect, and they have the same excitement about things. Or whether we are flying to Europe and they meet kids there. So seeing this is the common thread that runs through civilization is very intriguing for me.
I love it. And if you had to think of a few words that would describe you, Bianca, whether it's, you from Africa or you from Israel now, what are a few words that would describe you?
So I'm very curious, very curious. My nickname as a child was, the Y is starting again. And even today, my husband, when someone starts to talk, my eye starts moving. He's like, okay, we're onboarding the Y train again. So I love to ask questions. Everything is interesting for me, depending on which, low tech, high tech, it doesn't matter. I think I'm fun. I try to be fun at least. I think life is too short. Whatever I do, I try to really enjoy the moment, and I never pass on anything. You know, if you're standing next to the beach and it's freezing and someone says, let's jump in, I will jump in no matter how cold.
Incredible.
And another word, really, I think, again, the being grateful. I really don't take anything for granted. And I think in COVID, it was a huge, I think, awakening for people, because I was grateful for the big stuff. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people, especially in Africa, it was, you know, they didn't have the infrastructure like Israel or the support from the government. Yeah. So I was, you know, grateful for having stability in a country like Israel, for example, but also small things like, you know, hearing your kids laugh, or not hearing airplanes over the sky and seeing a blue sky and being able to sit outside in the sun and work for a change. So I think those are the words that would describe me in a nutshell.
Bianca, thank you very, very much. This was great. I love talking about your upbringing and how that translates to today, and the appreciation for what you had then and how that gives you a different perspective on you know, both you as a leader, but also you as a part of the tech world and an impact maker today with Metro One and mobile commerce. So thank you for the time, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Great. Thank you so much, and good luck with your shows. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.